This presentation is about how society's war on boys contributes to their underachievement in school. Currently, many boys are experiencing less success in the education system than girls are, even though they have the ability to do as well. These boys are capable, but underachieving. Underachievers are those who score high on tests of ability, but underperform in school or other academic settings. Underachievers are most often boys. Three elements that affect boys' achievement in school are parental practice, the operation of the education system, and the actions of society in general. The focus of this presentation is on how society in general contributes to many boys' underachievement in school. As was pointed out in presentation number 1, academic underachievement has many serious negative consequences, including having weak reading skills in later years, and this results in having no post-secondary school education, which is very, very important in this day and age, and which results in the possibility of facing low wages and long-term unemployment for the rest of one's working life. Research shows that achievers tend to share some common characteristics. They tend to come from more stimulating home environments where parents read to them more. They tend to have received more support and encouragement from parents, teachers, and society in general. They tend to have higher self-esteem and more confidence in their abilities. This, of course, comes from the support and encouragement that they've received from parents, teachers, and society. They tend to work harder, not only because of their need to achieve, but also because they like what they're doing. They're engaged by it. They're doing something that is of interest and value to them. Presentation number 1 examined the factors that influence the probability of boys succeeding in school. These include having confidence in their own abilities, attending schools that place equal value on practical and theoretical studies, attending schools where there is gender equity, that is, where male as well as female attributes and interests are valued, where there is an equal number of male and female teachers in all grades and disciplines, where teachers are aware of their own gender bias when it comes to evaluating student work, attending schools where different types of knowledge, styles of learning, and methods of demonstrating knowledge and learning are treated as equally valuable. Not everyone learns the same way, and not everyone is able to demonstrate knowledge and learning in the same way. All of these have to be treated as equally valuable. In view of the foregoing, what is society in general doing that's contributing to the underachievement of boys in the education system? The research suggests that society is contributing to the underachievement of boys in school in at least 6 fundamental ways. First, by failing to value the characteristics that most boys exhibit due to the manner in which they've been socialized by their parents and society in their early years. For example, in school, the characteristics that girls have developed as a result of their socialization in their early years are those that teachers, who are virtually all women, expect all students to exhibit, while those that boys have developed are not only not valued, they are often viewed as unacceptable, intolerable, disruptive, and thus contribute to many boys' lack of success in school. And these are the characteristics that boys have been socialized to have in they arrive at school, the school now expects them to have a different set of characteristics. It expects them to be more like girls. Secondly, by demonstrating to boys that in many areas of contemporary life, including in the media, in school textbooks, and in the healthcare and judicial systems, society does not value males as much as it does females. For example, children receive an ongoing barrage from the various forms of media portraying males as incompetent and in need of saving by the females surrounding them. Thirdly, by failing to recognize the connection between factors such as role models and gender identity, and the degree to which boys tend to underachieve, while girls tend to achieve in the education system as it currently operates. For example, although research shows that same-sex role models play an important role in enhancing the probability of success in school, governments, part of society in general, and school districts, also part of society in general, appear unwilling to address the issue of the gender imbalance in school staffing. Fourthly, by insisting on the continuance of gender-selective as opposed to needs-based affirmative action initiatives once parity has been reached or even surpassed in the specific area. For example, even now, when men are in the minority in medical schools, there are at least 9 scholarships exclusively for women to enable and to encourage their attendance in medical school, while there are none for men. There are none for men and at least 9 for women in order to bring about parity. How can that be? Parity has already been surpassed. One would think that in the interests of equity and fairness, those scholarships would now be for men. Not so. Fifthly, by failing to recognize the importance of the connection between the lack of support boys receive from their own parents, teachers, and society in general, and the degree to which they underachieve in school. For example, largely due to the message presented by teachers, who are virtually almost all female, and the media, parents now have higher academic expectations for their daughters than they have for their sons. This is a radical change from 50 years ago. Why would parents now have higher academic expectations for their daughters than their sons? Because they've received a clear message from the child's teachers that boys really aren't very good at school and girls are. And so parents now have higher academic expectations for their daughters than they have for their sons. Now this is significant because it's clear, the research is very clear, that parental expectation plays a very, very high role in terms of whether or not children will go on to post-secondary education. And if parents don't believe that their sons are capable of this, while they do believe their daughters are, boys are going to find themselves with a self-fulfilling prophecy as they don't attend post-secondary education and are penalized for the rest of their lives as a result of it. Sixthly, by the unwillingness of governments, school districts, and individual schools to address the issue. For example, governments, school districts, and schools usually refuse to even discuss the issue. They prefer to maintain that no problem exists. If one contacts government agencies, school districts, or schools to discuss the issue of the underachievement of boys, one can expect to be told there is no such problem, even though the evidence clearly shows there is. They insist, however, if a problem exists, it must be the fault of the boy's parents. Certainly, it's not their fault. Societal institutions, governments, school districts, and schools could do many things that would help many boys to achieve to their potential in school. Unfortunately, with very few exceptions, these institutions appear to be content to participate, perhaps passively, or perhaps even actively, in society's war on boys. The underachievement of boys in school is a demographic time bomb. A failure to act now will result in major societal upheaval in the future. As boys are increasingly cut off from post-secondary education, as boys increasingly, as a result of that, are cut off from high-paying professional jobs, we are going to find ourselves in a society where there will be a major backlash. We're already experiencing some of that backlash now. Unfortunately, it appears that the parents of underachieving boys are the only ones who are likely to act on behalf of their sons. Meanwhile, they face a daunting task, as many vested interest groups actively attempt to thwart their efforts. There are many vested interest groups that are quite content to see the inequity that now exists continuing. Moreover, these parents will find they have few allies as they attempt to advocate for their sons, who are being victimized by society's war on boys. They'll have few allies. They needn't expect a lot of assistance or support from government, school districts, schools, teachers, or society in general. This presentation has been based on the book Rescuing Our Underachieving Sons by Dr. James S. Brown. Books are available online from all the major booksellers. Some samples are given here. The book is available in ebook format. It's also available in paperback and hardcover. The presentation has also been based on the booklet number 3, How Society's War on Boys Contributes to Their Underachievement in School. Booklets can be obtained at nominal cost by email from jimbrownCDN@hotmail.com. Other booklets in this series are booklet number 1, How Parents Can Help Their Sons to Become Achievers in School, and booklet number 2, How the Education System Can Help Boys to Become Achievers in School.